Okay, so both sides are pretty ugly. I guess let's just grab a side and go with it. Let's try the right side. What I'm gonna do with the right side is keep my negative out in front, and I'm gonna do, instead of cotangent, I'll do 1 over the tangent of alpha plus beta over 2. Now, let's try using the half angle formula for that. Now, there's a couple half angle formulas for tangents. Okay, one of the half angles. So I'm going to give you 2 different ones here. Okay, so these are 2 of them that actually I don't know if I wrote down in your sheet or not. Probably have to. Here, I want to write this down nice for you here. So it's the tangent of an angle over 2 is equal to 1 minus the cosine of the angle over the sine of the angle. Or, you can see this is a lot nicer than having square roots floating around. Or it's equal to the sine of the angle over 1 plus the cosine of the angle. Now, let's see here. What have I got going on? I got sines on top, cosines on the bottom, but I'm probably going to flip stuff. So, you know what? We'll just pick one of these and see what happens. And we can always probably get to the other one anyway. So I'm going to go like this. My theta is alpha plus beta. So I'm going to go like this. Which one do I want? I'm going to go 1 minus the cosine of alpha plus beta. And that's over the sine of alpha plus beta. Okay, so what I did here was over on this side, I had this theta floating around. And so I let theta be equal to alpha plus beta. So now what I've done is I've inserted it here. Okay. So I've taken this guy right here and I've stuck it right here and right here in the formula. And so that's what I got. I think that's going to be our most efficient way of doing this. So what can I do with this guy? Well, first, let's just multiply this negative in here. So I'm going to go like this because I don't like negatives floating around. So I'm going to write this as, okay, so I'm going to trip you up when I do this. Ready? Cosine alpha plus beta minus 1 over sine alpha plus beta. What did I do? Well, I took this negative and I multiplied it in to this 1 and this cosine here. So what it did was it changed the sign, so I ended up getting, let me write this as a side note for you. So here's what I did. I took negative times the 1 minus the cosine alpha plus beta. And when I multiplied it in, I got negative 1 plus the cosine of alpha plus beta. And I just switched the order because there's addition in between. So I can go cosine alpha plus beta minus 1. That's a trick that that gets used fairly often. Okay, so it just makes things look a little bit cleaner. Now I've got 1 divided by this, so I'm going to rewrite 1 up here as a fraction so you can see this a little bit better. And so I'm going to take the numerator and multiply it by the reciprocal of the denominator. Like that. So this is going to be the sine of alpha plus beta over the cosine of alpha plus beta minus 1. Now I'm going to use my sum and difference formulas here. So this numerator is going to become the sine of alpha cosine beta plus cosine alpha sine beta over, okay, so this is an ugly mess, cosine alpha cosine beta minus sine alpha sine beta, and still minus that 1. So now what am I going to do? Well, I guess we could divide everything by cosine beta cosine alpha. Why not? If I divide everything by cosine beta cosine alpha, I would get sine alpha cosine beta. I don't like that, because now I'm going to end up with a tangent up top. Okay. Let's just divide everything by... I'm not seeing it. Let me pause the video so you're not waiting in silence while I think. Okay, so I'm thinking this led to a dead end. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back up here, and who knows, maybe you could have solved it if I would have continued. Okay, but I'm just not seeing it that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrap this idea. Okay, I'm going to try something else. I'm going to say the following. I'm going to say negative cotangent of alpha plus beta over 2 is equal to negative cosine of alpha plus beta over 2 over the sine of alpha plus beta over 2. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 2. I'm going to move this negative down to the bottom because it doesn't matter where I put it. And then I'm going to multiply top and bottom by the sine of, let's do alpha minus beta over 2. Okay, if I do that, then this guy on the top is our formula for sine alpha minus sine beta. And our formula on the bottom is going to be cosine alpha minus cosine beta. So this is a direct consequence. If I multiply straight across, because that's how you multiply fractions. If I multiply straight across, these are your sum to product formulas. So you can tell how little writing I had there and how much more writing I had before. But that's the deal. When you work with these things, you try one thing and you work it out for a while, and sometimes it doesn't work. And so don't get discouraged when you're working through these. You just keep working